Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile, and today we're going to take a look at the Oriveti O400. I want to thank Oriveti for sending over the O400 for a review. I do greatly appreciate it. Oriveti, you rock. So the Oriveti O400 is a 4-balanced armature IEM, but it is a very unique and interesting design. And that is, it has 3 Knowles BAs and 1 proprietary Oriveti BA. The 3 Knowles BAs cover the bass, the mid bass, and the mid treble. And then the Oriveti proprietary is for the treble. It also has a 4-way crossover. And I find that the O400 is very close to a reference sound when it comes to an IEM. 10 ohms of impedance, 112 decibels of sensitivity, frequency response of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Oriveti O400 comes in this very nice little unboxing experience. You just pop off the lid here, get a little piece of paper. Your IEMs would be sitting there. We'll take a look at those in a minute. Down underneath, you get 3 little boxes. One says ear tip 1, ear tip 2, and accessories. And then underneath, you get a carrying case. Carrying case is very nice. It says Oriveti, has a little logo here on the back. Made of pure leather, smells extremely good. And then when you open it up, you get this little Easter egg of Azla tips inside, which is a nice touch. So they do include some Azla tips. I find that the carrying case is a very nice build, just feels quality and looks fantastic. All right, as far as the accessories, in the accessory box, you do get some simple tools to use. You get a 1/4-inch adapter, a cleaning tool, and an airplane adapter. Set that to the side here. Ear tip box number 1, and you get this, there you go, little tray of tips. You get these 1 tips that are very similar to RHA dual density tips, and then you get some wide bore shallow olive shaped tips, which are very similar to a JVC spiral dot. And then in this other tip box, tip number 2, you get some foam tips, which are similar to Dakoni's, and then you get some biflange tips. Overall, I'm very pleased with the amount of tips. I did end up using the ones that are very similar to the RHA dual densities. I found that they fit my ears the best, gave the best seal, and also sounded the most cohesive and balanced. As far as the IEMs themselves, the Oriveti O400s are just beautiful. They have this smoky navy look to them that can come across as having a purpley hue to them. Other times they'll look black. And I find that they're just gorgeous to look at. They are slightly on the chunky side for a universal, but they have the curves in the right spots, and I do not have any issues whatsoever with the build of them. The only slight complaint that I may have is that the nozzle is slightly small. It's a little bit on the short side, and there you can see the crossovers coming in. You have 4 different ports. Tips can be a little bit of a pain to put on with that short stem, but they don't come off once they're on. Cable wise, I find that the cable is just perfect for the price point. It does connect via 2-pin, is labeled L and R on the cable, and it's a very well behaved, just doesn't twist up, doesn't tangle, has a nice split, and then it defaults to 3.5 millimeter. I find that the Oriveti O400s have great comfort for me. They slide in my ears just perfectly. and they just sit and disappear. I have no problems with them whatsoever being in my ears for hours on end, and I find that they're extremely comfortable and steal outside noises very well. So if someone's trying to talk to me, I do have to pop them out to hear things. I would say they're blocking probably close to 75 to 80% of outside noises. Everything just disappears when I have them in, even before I start playing music. Speaking of playing music, these sound fantastic. As I said, they have a very close to reference sound with a kiss of fun. So the bass on them is nice and extended, has good sub bass presence, but is not overpowering and demanding of attention. It does a very good job with the details and the clarity and being well controlled, but yet still having a presence. The mid bass and the upper bass also have a nice presence. You get a nice thump and nice punch to them, but it's very controlled, has excellent details and clarity, but at the same time, you know that it's there and you know that it's a little bit accentuated, but it never really borderline crosses over into that, okay, I'm way beyond too much. It's just a very controlled bass. I think that bass heads that like details would be very happy with the Oriveti O400. If you're more of just wanting the slam and the punch and don't really care about all the finite details, then Oriveti O400 may come across as a little light and lame. But to anybody else who likes the details with some punch and quality to it, Oriveti O400 will keep you happy in the bass. Mids are slightly behind, just a smidge behind. I mean, it's very close to being very balanced, but it is just a little bit behind the bass. And the mids I find have a nice natural realistic tone to them. The tone and timbre is just right on where it should be, especially for a BA. It just sounds spectacular, and I find that they're very clean and clear and very detailed, and I really enjoy the mids on them. Vocals, whether it be a female or a male, are very much even. Neither one of them stand out. And so if you have a mixed group, you don't have any unbalancedness with the vocals. It's just a very pleasing and very natural sounding mids on the Oriveti O400. Treble wise, it does extend out a little bit, but it does miss out just a little bit on airiness. So every now and then I'm kind of wishing that it had just a little bit more air, but it has good sparkle and energy to it, just enough to keep you engaged, just enough to be at the ready, in the right spot, and never cross over into that fatiguing zone. And I do wish that it had just a little bit more airiness every now and then, but for the most part, it's a very well controlled, very detailed treble that is very pleasing and never is fatiguing on the ears. And that's pretty much just the way I like it. I was not able to really get any sort of harshness or any sort of sibilance on the Oriveti O400s. Even on the more harsh tracks that I listened to, these were very well controlled. If the track had sibilance in it or had harshness in it, the Oriveti portrayed it, but it didn't accentuate it, didn't blow it out of proportion in any way. Soundstage wise, the Oriveti O400 has about an average width to them. They're not the widest sounding IEM whatsoever, but what they do really well is depth and layering and imaging. They are very excellent in placement and in being precise and allowing things to travel and sound natural in the stage. And it's a very easy stage to dissect and be able to pick apart and say, okay, it's right there, it's right there, it's right there, it's right there. The Oriveti O400 is a very nice IEM to use for gaming and for movies. I really do enjoy them a whole lot for the gaming that I do, which are sports games and racing sims. I found that the O400 gave me exactly the details I was looking for and in the precise placement that I needed them to be. Oriveti O400s, yeah, these definitely get a thumbs up from me for sound. I really do enjoy them. They're very well controlled, and as I said, they're very close to a reference sound with just a kiss of fun. How do they play on other gear? I found that they played very well on my Pioneer XDP30R, and they were very easily powered on low gain. Did not have to push them or boost them in any way with gain. They're just got up, played, sound fantastic. They also did the same thing with the Sony NWA105 Walkman. I found that the Sony was a very pleasing sound signature, had a little bit of lushness to it. Really did enjoy it. Also, another product that I really enjoyed the Oriveti O400 with is the Centrance DAC Portable. I found that since this has a very clean sound signature, is very similar to like a THX 789 and a portable, that the Oriveti sounded fantastic with it, and it actually did add in a little bit of that airiness that was lacking on some of the other devices, and I really enjoyed it. And the Centrance DAC Portable was actually my favorite setup with the Oriveti O400s. It also played well with the X-Duo Link and also with the Next Drive Spectra X. I found that both of those portables coming out of my Samsung Note 10 Plus were fantastic with the Oriveti O400. The Oriveti O400 does remind me of another IEM that I reviewed recently, which is the Massdrop Blessing 2. Now, the Blessing 2 has more airiness, a brighter treble sound, and is a little bit more revealing as far as harshness and sibilance. But I found that the Oriveti O400 is the slightly more laid back version of it, and a little bit more enjoyable sounding than the Blessing 2. I really enjoy the Blessing 2, but the Oriveti is a little bit more of the laid back version of it. So if you found that the Blessing 2 had just a little too much, check out an Oriveti O400. If you found that the Blessing 2 was missing a little bit in the bass, check out an Oriveti O400. Also, the ADV-M51D, which is the Beryllium driver from Advanced Sound, that one has a little bit more bass girth, a little bit more forward mids, and a little bit more full, robust sound signature than the O400. Does have a little bit wider of a soundstage as well, but I found that the O400 was a little bit more laid back and just a little bit more of the fun reference sound versus the other two, the Blessing and the M51D. So yes, Oriveti, I had never heard one of your products before, but now I look forward to hearing some of the other Oriveti options that you have available. And I hope to get the chance to hear more, as the O400 has truly impressed me, and I really do enjoy the O400 a whole lot and highly recommend it. If you can obtain a Oriveti O400, I recommend very much so. This has been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on the screen is a subscription link, notification bell. If you haven't already, please check those off. And then don't forget to check out the links down below where you can find information regarding the channel, how you can contact it, how you can support it, how you can follow it, gear that is recommended, music playlists that are used during the review process, and all kinds of other good things that are listed down below. Check out those links. And then while you're down there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and have yourself a fantastic day.